Hey guys, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? Welcome back to some more Napoleon Total War Darthmod here today on the channel. We're back on the definitive edition of the game, playing as the United Kingdom. This is episode 8. In today's episode, we have John Moore with a full stack and another reinforcing army as well. We are attacking Madrid, which has a full stack inside. This is the battle for Spain. We've worked super hard for this. So hopefully we can bring sort of Spain's reign of terror on the peninsula to an end. If we can defeat the garrison in Madrid, we've got the majority of Spain under our control. All that leaves is Pamplona and Barcelona. We've still got Wellington and a couple of armies up in the north, still keeping an eye on the French, ready to make a play if need be, but we're going to be able to get a huge boost to our economy and basically stop a lot of the Spanish Navy intervening. So we currently outnumber them, which is good for me, but they have a lot of artillery which we have to deal with. It's a huge 10,000 man battle. John Moore with George Walker against Fernando. The Battle of Madrid, 1806. It's going to be a good one. Alrighty. I guess that's fog or a dusty day in Madrid. Okay, let's form everyone up. 4 units of cavalry, 3 units of artillery. I would like a lot more cavalry and artillery per my army, to be honest. We've got some Highlanders in, and we've got a lot of frontline infantry. So let's put the cavalry on the left and right and get ready to make a play. I'd like to try and get the general done in, if we can, and try and neutralize that artillery, because in a straight-out shootout, arty-wise, they would probably shell us to oblivion. So if we can win this one here today, that's 5 Spanish full stacks destroyed, and we'll probably well-deservedly become the major and dominant power in Spain. But yeah, the main thing is all the trade nodes we gain for securing this eastern part. We'll also open up, if we can take Madrid, you'd imagine that Pamplona and Barcelona would fall quite quickly once more than half of the peninsula is fully under another country's control. So I'll try and get my artillery to hit theirs, try and get some shots off. Now, we do outnumber them, so they actually might rush us. You never know. So, let's move my cavalry on the left and right and try and wrap around as always and see how the Spanish react. But in the last battle, they played actually quite well. They took a fair few of us with us. Okay, so they're actually moving up and marching by the look of it. They might have even been getting some friendly fire off there. That poor infantry unit and the cavalry unit charging. It didn't look like it was that free, I guess. Okay. I'm nearly tempted to move up and just reform my own line, because there's not too many on that left, so let's reform about that. That'll be a bit better. We don't need to be so thin and drawn out. Okay, so we've got a unit behind here coming in. Sort of here. And we also have additional reinforcements as well. At the moment, we're only controlling 1 full stack, but we can get more in. It will take a while to slowly but surely trickle them in. Oh, crikey. Form square if you can. That cavalry's come quite close. I didn't even see that. We could switch to a canister shot, but we might just need to move up if they get quite close, just to protect the artillery. Just hold, no. Oh, nah, they weren't going for it. They were tempted to. I think they pulled back due to that infantry unit they're covering. Right, so what's over here? Anyone we can pick apart? Maybe just getting closer. Just slowly but surely try and inch closer towards their artillery, because some of it is clipping us. But we're not getting the best shots off against their artillery that I aimed for. We're better off probably hitting some of these units coming further out, because there's a lot of decent coverage from the city. And even a bit of the forest there obstructing. Thankfully this time around, I can't seem to see any caltrops hanging about in the Battle for Seville. They were littered across the battlefield, which made our cavalry dominating their defensive zone and rotating quite tough. They do have some of their own cavalry in here, but they are intertwining some infantry here as well, so I don't know if we're going to be able to make a play for either the general or the artillery. It's going to be tough. Okay, they're swinging the cavalry back again here. I usually keep my artillery behind, but this time around I've had to put them in front because we didn't have much of a high rise sort of, or a hill elevation for us to chuck the arty on, and we need to sort of keep on peppering those units. We can't afford not to use them. Okay, so swing back. So the Spanish are moving up some infantry, which is good. Hopefully we can get the better of them. Some of my cavalry's getting hit here, which is annoying. Okay, that's a really bad position because they've pinned us down with 3. We might lose that left flank that's pushing on. I want to try and go for the general, but we need to peel further around. The front line's now getting engaged. Okay, and it looks like some of my infantry's getting some shots off. They are really close to me. I'm nearly tempted just to switch to canister shot and get those off. Because canister shot... Haven't used it too much in this Empire series. But in Empire, I know for a fact it's bloody brilliant. Okay, so we're trying to wrap around and hit that artillery. But we haven't seemed to find an opening. Canister shots have been unleashed on these units. I haven't seen too much of what it's actually done. But they're putting a little bit of effort in. Okay, we're still trying to surge and push for that artillery just to knock it out, but I've got to give it to the Spanish. They've well and truly neutralizing my cavalry this time around. They've learned from the wraparound tactics which I've deployed in a lot of these battles. My infantry's holding for now. My artillery leading from the front is decent as well. And even though we actually seem to be shooting up and over, or even between the artillery, we're actually not taking any of them out. I was going to say friendly fire could be an issue, but it doesn't seem to be. There seems to be maybe a slight elevation where my infantry are, because like the bottom of the road is where the artillery are technically. I guess it's dug down in a bit slightly. Looks fine. Okay. I'm going to switch back to a standard shot and hold, and I want to move my infantry up. Even though it's probably fine, I still don't want to risk it. We're actually not favoured to win this one, even with those reinforcements haven't come in. You'd think our full stack would be able to do pretty well against theirs. So, my cavalry is just struggling here. If they can only move a small part of their army up at a time that they seem to be doing, I'm fine with that. Let's try and angle. They don't seem to be pushing through the city that much, so angle that. And we'll get you blokes here, even though... Oh god, I was going to say I can angle on the left, but you're not actually getting it. You're not even getting hit. Like, I know you're going to get more fire on you, but you need to gain some ground. And then do this, because those 3 units on the left, I'm not going to lie, they're roasting us a bit. They're smoking us on the field. I might need to move more up. Add him further back, because I'm still fearful of that artillery that is still pounding us. Okay, so our reinforcements have arrived, so that means we've lost a unit fully. And now they can start coming in. So, not too far away. Yeah, I guess we just need to try and find an opening and keep trying to push for that artillery. They actually seem to be moving them. Okay, at least we've got another general in. George Walker can come and help. But my left flank is capitulating. My right line seems to be fine. And move you further up. And move you there. Okay. Moore's getting some shots on him. Last thing I want is to lose John Moore in the Battle for Madrid. That would be super ironic. Okay, we found an opening here. I guess as they've pushed up. They have intertwined some infantry there. So we might be able to get a couple of artillery neutralized, but not not a crazy amount. Okay, I'm actually going to send George Walker in here to charge. Because he's coming in as reinforcements. He's coming quick enough, he might be a good charge. That's good, that's what I want. See that flying animation? That's when you can really smash that unit. Good, we've probably capitulated that unit. Fantastic. 2 of my cavalry units are still routing. But that's what you want. You want a high-octane energy charge like that. Sometimes the charges can be just not the best in Napoleon, but that was fantastic there by Georgie boy. Okay, let's move on up. He should be able to take that out. I don't often chuck generals in. Oh, no. And that's probably why. Did he? Oh! I was going to say, I don't usually chuck them in because they don't last too long. Oh, thankfully it wasn't more. I nearly panicked there. If you got taken out by a rogue shot, a rogue cannonball, that is super annoying. Damn it. We outnumber them. I really wanted sort of a flawless victory. But what a way to go. A cavalry charge on in. Facing fearful odds against an outnumbered infantry unit, I guess. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my rule of never throwing in Darthmod and Empire generals into combat, because they don't last, even if you get a fantastic charge like that. Just because they just don't have the number. Thankfully, the reinforcements coming in this time around have been cavalry, because we definitely could use that, because we've been roasting a lot of them. Okay, so it's still quite close. It's not an over-resounding victory, to be honest. We're both shelling each other back and forth, and they're doing quite well here, the Spanish. They're forming up square preemptively already. We definitely needed that additional reinforcements. I don't know if we would be able to win, to be honest. They must have some fantastic home ground morale, you could say. Because these guys are holding big time. But at the end of the day, they are fighting for their capital. They're fighting for their homeland. This is essentially like Spanish dominance on the continent. Thankfully we've got a lot of cavalry coming in first, because we definitely need it. Okay. We've been hit here. Can't form square. I guess we'll just attach bayonets and drop into a melee attack. Okay. Yeah, we're even struggling against just a small amount of them pushing up. Okay, let's reform like this. Okay, even though we've got cavalry reinforcements, as you can see, a lot of them aren't actually that high, like, man per unit. That was because we haven't had time to replenish and repair. That's why I had to change them out at the start, before we initiated this. Because a lot of them are still licking their wounds. And we lost a lot of men in the battle for Sevilla, cavalry-wise. We'll charge on in here, because these guys haven't formed square. But it's going to have to cluster them all up, even though they're 4 units. It should be enough, even though they're quite weak, as long as they just unite and fight together. They've now capitulated. Let's push and work our way down the Spanish line. Let's re-get some of that artillery to hit on in. Okay. And they've still got a lot of reinforcements there. Man, if they just threw everyone at me, I reckon they would have won. We've basically I guess my cavalry has distracted and locked them into defending their artillery, but they were only, for some reason, willing and keen to push half the army up. A lot of it's sitting further back. So now they're retreating. We don't need to get that artillery support on the unit that's pushed into sort of no man's land between our 2 armies at the moment.
One of our units has used all its ammunition, sir.
But we did suffer a little bit of a morale boost on that left flank, thanks to George Walker flying on in. And, well, getting himself knocked off. Which is super annoying. Because we only recently just brought him in, eh? Like, we hired him in Gibraltar. And he cost about 2k as well. Like, they ain't cheap. I'm pretty sure that's a historical character. That's not randomly generated. I'm pretty sure George was it Townsend or Townshed? Walker. I can't remember him. Historically, was he a person? He must have been, or it's just a random name. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up. Okay, well, we're gonna have to advance in a moment now anyway. We've got an additional infantry unit coming on in. The cavalry's wrapped around. I guess we'll just put some pressure on the left flank infantry. So we'll commit 2 in, and then we'll get the other ones to peel off, and then we'll hit them from all sides. That should be able to cause a morale break with the dragoons. Yeah, so peel like that and then hit them. That's good. Yeah, and swing around. If we can fully surround them and hit them from all sides, that'll be brilliant. Okay. Still quite close, this one, even though we outnumbered them. Okay. They're actually digging themselves in quite well. They've intertwined themselves well with the buildings in Madrid. They're actually nullifying our artillery a bit while theirs is still going on. And they also, they seem to like, when a unit gets attacked, they seem to form up and just feel free to fire upon their own men. Because although we destroyed that unit there, basically, we pushed them out, they've recovered, but they were like fine for the other units to take some hits. Just need to make sure this gets fully crushed and not come back, because even pulling out can be an issue. Look at that. We're really struggling against their infantry. I guess this is probably the last and finest of what Spain has to offer. They've moved some cavalry up here. We might do better against if they move out a bit. But they've still got their artillery. Even though they had 5, they've probably still got 3 left, same as us. And they're actually moving into the city streets, because we're in the open field. We're getting smashed in the open a bit. Okay. I think we're better off to unlimber and stop firing and move up. I'm just looking at my infantry. They're actually not hitting us anymore, which is good. Alright, let's move up. I just gotta be careful, because it's still 50-50. I don't know a mass charge on in would work. I guess we might actually go for the cavalry here, but I'm talking about my infantry. Because we've also got to take Madrid with minimal losses if we can. My cavalry might have capitulated then. They copped a volley. And now they've committed to that cavalry. Maybe just trying to pin it down as we go up might be just the play. Because last thing I want, like if they've got 2 full stacks that they could send from Pamplona and Barcelona, the play for Spain and Madrid could all be for nothing. So the stakes are quite high here. We've moved up to a better position, but it looks like we're actually getting hit a bit. Oh, now some of the infantry is now shooting. Yeah, getting shot at. The air artillery is shooting. Actually, instead of withdrawing the cavalry, we could just put it to work. And now actually, this is the better the play. I got an idea. So it doesn't matter if we lose that cavalry, because what I'll do is I'll wait for those additional fresh infantry reinforcements to come in, because most of the infantry that fought in this fight are now, well, smashed. Let's move through the streets like that, and then we'll get everyone else. Like, these are the reinforcements. If you could hit that left side, I reckon the push is going to come from the left. That's what we'll put our best units and fresh units coming on in. We'll wrap around the left and encircle. Okay, let's move more up, because we're going to need his morale support. Because I would imagine that some of the infantry are still shook and, well, rattled from the death of George Walker. Yeah, George. I think he was a pretty prominent commander. I can't remember him. I wonder where he died. Did he die in Spain? I'm going to have to look it up after this. It'd be quite fitting. If not, I guess one of my generals had to die in Spain for the timeline to work out. If Moore was going to survive, someone else probably had to be taken. That's why I love these sandbox experiences, man. On Total War, it's always so much fun. Okay, so we're slowly but surely pushing through the streets, and we are struggling a bit. Because the open field is probably our best play. Like, we're just going to have to try and claim the streets of Madrid. So the Red Cloaks are moving on in against the last of the Spanish resistance. What a hell of a fight for their capital. The Peninsular War has been a struggle for us big time. But that's why I'm kind of happy that I committed to it, because I knew it was going to be a lot of fun. They're actually out of ammunition, which is insane. They're going to have to attach bayonets and actually go in. So some of our boys are actually going to have to fight with bayonets and hand-to-hand grubby melee combat. But I knew it was going to be difficult to fight on a two-front war. It's been quite enjoyable, instead of going with the realistic approach. Okay, move up here. Move there. They are really digging on in. Okay. It'll be interesting seeing how they deal with me in bayonet combat. Because when the French did it in episode 6, I think it was. Yeah, because we fought the Spanish in the last. Whenever we fought the French last, the Battle of Waterloo was a while ago, yeah. It was really interesting because both the powder was wet, so artillery and the musket fire was incredibly tough. The French tended to want to attach bayonets and charge. I think for whatever reason they probably had better bayonet capabilities than us British. Which you wouldn't think so, but maybe they do. Like, what would be the historical justification for that? I don't know. French steel? Maybe. Okay. So, although we're progressing, with some of our guys running out of their rounds, it's super tough to push through with here. We're going to be able to claim the city.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
But I ain't gonna lie, it's gonna be a huge cost. Okay, so those fresh reinforcements have come on in. Just look how much men per unit they have. And they have massively peeled around. We're hitting them from all angles and we're surrounding them. We've managed to set up a super decent trap. John Moore's there now. We've still got most of the infantry just running back. Yeah, they just got smashed by parlaying with the Spanish front line and just that artillery. It just shows you how strong cavalry and artillery are in this game. And generals, if you just can't neutralize it quick enough. This has probably been one of my highest losses and most competitive fight. Are they bugged out? They're just doing a crazy looking dance move. Bob and weave, boys. Boot and scoot. Okay. We're good now. We're in a really good position. Angling, fine. We can even advance a bit further. But what an awesome, huge, epic fight for Madrid. Sweet. But even though we've conquered this huge province, because we're not just dealing with Madrid, we're dealing with most of the peninsula now, it's going to be... it's going to come with its own set of annoyances and decisions we have to make. So pretty much instantly once we take Madrid, we're going to have to basically go on a bit of a recruitment blitz with our navies. We're going to have to make sure... There goes the general, and the Scottish Highlanders are charging in there in an epic charge. As I'm talking about local administration, I guess. We finally got rid of the general. He lasted nearly the entire fight for this. But yeah, we're gonna have to really protect our docks, because the French are still going to be annoying. There probably still will be a decent Spanish fleet, but we've managed to win a heroic victory in the end. Wow. What a decent fight. John Moore has taken Madrid. He's taking the Royal City of Madrid. Real Madrid. I don't think that's it. It's a football team, but I'm making the joke. We'll replenish and repair where we can. And yeah, we lost George Walker. Incredibly disappointing. But so be it. He just came on in and he was in such a good position. He died quite quickly in the charge. Oh well. No matter. Alrighty, so this is probably going to kick out the Spanish fleet. Oh no, it's up in the north in Pamplona or whatever it is. Do the Spanish want peace? I'm curious because we'll be able to replenish if we can. For, pay him. Oh good, we'll sign that then. Because, although we've won, we need to like not lose this territory. I mean, there's a lot of repairing we have to do because we did raid from Sevilla to Madrid. And we're going to have to protect those ports. And I don't want a quick retaliation. If we've smashed them into submission, I would rather replenish and repair. We're also going to have to convert the populace. We can't literally march out of Spain and Madrid once we've taken it. But we have taken Madrid. Okay, so I just did a quick Google on George Townshend Walker, and I already feel quite bad. I didn't realise... I kind of forgot about him. I didn't remember sort of comprehend how important he was. So he actually died when he was 78. We'll just go through the interns here. Okay, nothing too crazy. He fought in the wars and the battles in the American Revolution, the French Revolution. He actually fought a bunch in the Napoleonic Wars, the Battle for Copenhagen. He fought a lot in the Peninsula as well, and ended up dying when he was 78. So we got rid of him pretty early on. Yeah, he was actually present in a lot of battles in Spain, which is not good that we lost him so quickly, but shame. R.I.P. George Walker, I guess. Okay, Spain is going to be a huge source of taxations and profit for us, but I don't know how long we're going to be able to hold it, and you never know, French could start raiding in there as well. So I'm going to start building some factories and some better quality sort of industry in Britain, and then if we've got spare money, we'll chuck it down in Spain. But Britain isn't going to get invaded anytime soon, particularly with Nelson and Elphinstone defending the Channel. Like, we are very Gucci in the naval department. Okay, so thankfully we got that peace with Spain, because they seem to be mobilizing some forces in the north. But we'll have to push into Pamplona and push into Navarre. What did I call it? The Basque country. So it's kind of up there. And then we've got Barcelona as well to deal with. Switzerland's still hanging about. Austria's pushed into Italy. We're slowly but surely replenishing and repairing with John Moore. We might need to look to get another general back in. And it's a shame we lost Walker so early, because he was actually quite a prominent general in the Peninsular Wars. Back up in the north, still a full stack at Paris, half a stack to the south, and the French are mobilizing some military forces here. No general there, and they've moved another one up. We're going to have to watch out for them. The French still hold Bavaria, Württemberg, which is quite a decent progression for them. And they've got Hanover by the look of it as well, so they are really fighting sort of in the Germanic territories. Austria... Now that they've taken Italy, they might need to push into the French territory, you'd imagine. So unfortunately, it's time to end the video here. Stay tuned for episode 9 coming out soon, where we're probably going to have to deal with those French armies and eventually make a play to eliminate Spanish control fully in the peninsula. Alright guys, take care. I'm going to play the intro, or outro rather. Unfortunately, it's time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Check out my social media links in the description below if you'd like to stay connected with me. Let me know feedback and suggestions for the video. Gotta say a huge thank you to my patrons and channel members: Victor K, Sebastian C, Jordan K, Caesar L, Brian S, Tal, Liam B, Kyle P, Tom C, and Wyatt P. So thanks guys, my name has been Simpzy, much love from Australia, goodbye.